And now, CBS4 Sports with Clay Williams.
Hello, Rio Grande Valley High School football fans. CBS4 Sports Director Clay Williams with you, ready to give you my picks for Week 3 of the Valley High School football season. But before we go to Week 3, we have to apologize for Week 2. I come to you with my hat in my hand after one of the worst weeks that we have had picking these games. 17-11 last week. Yeah, we were over 500, but just barely. 61% for our picks for last week. After 2 weeks, that puts us at 38-18. Yes, that is 20 over 500. Not bad, but that's only 68% for the year. We always like to be above 75%, heading for 80. So let's try and resolve that this week with our picks in Week 3 of the Valley High School football season. As always, we start on Thursday going west to east. We start with Donna at La Jolla. It says here that the Redskins will get the win at Coyote Stadium. Harlingen South 2-0 already on the year against 0-2 Edinburgh North at Flores Stadium. I've got the Hawks keeping the hot streak going and going to 3-0 with a win there. Two undefeated teams battle Thursday night. It's Edinburgh Economides at Weslaco East. The Wildcats have shown that they've got what it takes, even when behind, to come back and get the big win when they need to with the big plays. I've got the Wildcats winning. PSJA Memorial is at Brownsville Lopez. The Lobos looking pretty sturdy this early in the season, and I've got them winning a home game at Sam Stadium. One out-of-town game as the Pioneer Diamondbacks head out of town for the first time ever to play a district game in Laredo against the Figueroa Toros, and I've got Pioneer winning that one. Let's take you to Friday, and once again, let's start west to east, and it is Laredo-Nixon at Roma. Once again, it's a 31-5A district game. Roma will go to 3-0 with a win over Nixon. PSJA Southwest travels to Starr County to take on the La Grulla Gators at Sanchez Stadium. Despite the fact that PSJ Southwest is a 6A and La Grulla is a 4A, I've got the Gators winning at home. They looked tough last week against Raymondville. Edinburgh travels to La Jolla to take on the Palmview Lobos. I've got Palmview winning that one at home. Brownsville Hannah is at Mission. Tom Landry Stadium is the site, but I say that it will be the Hannah Golden Eagles over the Mission Eagles in this one. Los Fresnos traveling to McAllen after they had a bye week last week. They're 1-0. Mac High got their first win last week, but I do think the Falcons will come away with a win at Memorial Stadium. Two up-and-coming teams with great offenses and great running backs. Brownsville Veterans and Gustavo Vasquez taking on Edinburgh Vela and Robert Guerra. Vela, of course, coming off that tough last-second loss at Ed Couch Elsa last week. It says here that the SaberCats will get back on the winning side with a win at Flores Stadium. Rio Grande City travels to Far Valley View. The Tigers coming off a big win last week in a rivalry game against Hidalgo. Rio Grande City 2-0, and the Rattlers will go to 3-0 with a win down at Valley View. Brownsville Rivera travels to Far to take on PSJA and the Bears. The Bears will get a win and back on the winning side after a loss last week to Harlingen South. La Jolla Juarez Lincoln will play at Benny LaPrade Stadium against the Chiefs of Donna North. Juarez Lincoln still looking pretty good early in the season. Expect them to contend for a playoff spot in 36A. I've got Juarez Lincoln's Huskies with the win. It's a Mid-Valley matchup with two big teams, Mercedes and Weslaco, neighbors going at it. I've got Weslaco coming off of their big win last week in San Antonio against Marshall's Rams. Weslaco comes back and makes it 2 straight against Mercedes. Santa Rosa is at home. The Warriors taking on Progresso's Red Ants, and I've got the Warriors coming away with a win there. It is the Willacy County Cotton Bowl. That rivalry renewed once again. Lyford at Raymondville. This one, I believe, goes to the Bulldogs and Coach Jaime Infante with win number 101. Brownsville St. Joseph taking on one of the toughest defenses among our smaller schools in Rio Hondo. The Bobcats always tough at home, but that Bloodhounds offense will be too tough. I've got the Bloodhounds winning that one. McAllen Memorial coming off a tough loss last week to Weslaco East takes on San Benito. San Benito has already beaten up on 2 out-of-valley squads in Laredo United and San Antonio East Central, and I've got the Greyhounds winning again at home at Bobby Morrow Stadium. Hidalgo takes on Port Isabel. The Tarpons 2-0, and at home once again, I believe that Port Isabel takes that one over the Pirates. And McAllen Rowe, one of the surprises of the year, 2-0 already. They will take on the Cowboys of Brownsville Porter, and that game will be down at Sam Stadium. And I've got McAllen Rowe going to 3-0 on the year. Quite a surprise there. Meanwhile, we've got lots and lots of out-of-valley games on Friday. It will be Harlingen taking on the Reagan Rattlers in San Antonio after their tough loss last week. I think the Cardinals will now drop 2 straight. Mission Veterans in a district game, 31-5A, taking on Laredo Martin and the Tigers up in Laredo, and I've got the Veterans Patriots coming away with a win. La Feria has looked double tough this year already as a 4A team. They will take on Corpus Christi Veterans Eagles, one of the new teams up in the Coastal Bend. I expect the Lions to come back with a victory. Monte Alto had a big win last week, 13-6 over Santa Maria, but now they take on the Seahawks of Riviera Calfer. I've got the Seahawks getting the win at home. More teams headed up to the Coastal Bend. La Villa and the Cardinals taking on Kingsville, Santa Gertrudis, and the Pride. I've got Santa Gertrudis Academy taking that one. Santa Maria and the Cougars taking on the Centurions of Corpus Christi, John Paul II. I've got John Paul II coming away with a win at home. Marine Military Academy out of Harlingen taking on London out of Corpus Christi. The London Pirates will get the win there. And finally, Far Oratory heading up to Brush Country to take on the Longhorns of Agua Dulce, and I've got Agua Dulce winning that one. No Saturday games this week, so that is it for my picks for Week 3 of the Valley High School football season. We'll see you right back here next week.